I'll get used to this at some time, I promise. Welcome, 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 Reiki Studio. Thank you for joining us. Reiki Studio was developed to inspire and nurture and nourish us as a tribe and as a whole. And doesn't matter what modality we are working on, we're working on ourselves too. So thank you for joining us. And thank you, Karen Kaig and Rhonda Hart, for joining me, the part of the panelists. We are a group that started last October of 2020, and we started a series called the Chakra Concept Series. And this is each month we celebrated a chakra. A chakra is a part of your energetic system. We actually have 7 major ones, come from the root, from the base of your spine all the way up your spine. And now we're at the tippy top at the crown, celebrating that 1,000 lotus petal flower that we have. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Thank you, Kathy.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to go over the description of the chakras and the characteristics and the functions. And Rhonda is going to go and do the movement with yoga, herbs, crystals, what empowers you, what kind of foods empower you and help strengthen your chakras and to nourish them. And Karen, she's going to be going through her oils and different things like that and smells and why do they illuminate our chakra. It helps us if they're moving too fast or they're sluggish, or we want to create that, maintain that balance, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then we're going to have a special thing. I love her voice and her sound, and we're going to do an exercise together. So yeah. I can't wait. Can't wait. Thank you guys so very much. And so this is going to be the last one for our series, everybody. And you can see it on my YouTube. I will be putting them all up on there last month's too. And so we're going to be restarting back in September. And so things are going to change a little bit and switch around. And Rhonda and Karen have stepped up, and they're going to help me out with Reiki Studios so we can make it flourish a little bit more. It's very active now, and we're very, very grateful, but let's put some other energy into it and spark some sparks and see what we can do to harness our tribe and bring in the more nourishment and love. And that's what I'm all for. So I'm willing to share that. So we're at the crown. Oh my goodness. Great. So we all know that each chakra, it's an energy, right? And it has a frequency, and it has a note, and it has a vibration, and it has a color, right? So that's what energy has. And so how we relate to it and connect with it. And so it's note B. Now I've noticed throughout my chakra education is that you have one frequency of the note of the chakra, but there's also healing frequencies that will help that chakra. And so when you do a search on Google and all this, you'll see a wide range of frequencies, and you're like, well, what does this mean? Why can't they just give me one frequency for the chakra, for that amount of chakra? It's because it is a delicate system and it's energy. And so it's always in change and always in flux. It's not major, but it is. And so you'll hear this one, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right. It's solfeggio, S-O-L-E-F.
Oh,
thank you. Go.
It's solfeggio.
There we go. Solfeggio frequency is 963 hertz, but the frequency is 768 hertz, right? If you start doing works with the platonic, just frequency of it is 172.06 hertz. See how the difference, the carrier waves for it is 480 hertz. And so as you see it, it has a lot of different sounds and frequencies it goes around. It matters what the intention is mixing with that base frequency, if that makes sense for everybody. We can have questions come out and we could talk about it. The seed sound is silence. There's nothing. It's such a high frequency, it is silence. So just think about that, the color, everybody thinks it's purple, but it's really just a clear, it could be rainbow, it could be purplish hues. A lot of times when energy comes down from our crowns as Reiki practitioners, we see purple all the time. That's number one thing as a teacher. And it's because the vibration up here and the sound and just the frequency, when the light does come through, you will see purple, right? And so that's the number one thing my husband said. He's a scientist. He goes, I seen purple. What's that all about? I'm like, logically, here, I'm going to tell you why, so he really liked that. Made him feel at ease. 1,000-petal lotus. So it's like a big lotus and it has 1,000 petals on it, like we were showing before. Let's see here. The vowel sounds T and then long 2 E's. T. So it's like, and I'm sure Karen's going to go over that. The right is universal awareness of being, to know and to learn. It's where we get everything. Our mind is even housed in here, right? Logic, everything, it's here. It's very powerful. It covers the endocrine system. So the glands, the pituitary glands, immune system, our lymph system. And that's what we are of movement. We're movement and water with that. And that just does a lot for our body, I tell you. Physical associations, the upper skull, cerebral cortex, pineal glands, and central nervous system. And psychological functioning is wholeness. A lot of people, when they get into Reiki right away in class, I'm at one with everything. Because everything's open and everything's clearing and you're getting your real connection. That's why the wholeness, the unity, the individual consciousness, The challenge is pride, attachments. You get attached to things. You might even get attached to the wholeness. It's these attachments. And the planets, if you're an astrological person, Uranus, Neptune's all about, it's pretty intense. Neptune's a very far away planet, the sun. And the mythical animal is the eagle, because the source is the highest. I think it's the bird that's can fly the highest elevation, so it makes sense that it's, up there. We could say. So spin directions, if you are like working on chakras and you spin them and stuff or whatever, I've heard that people will do clockwise is male and counterclockwise is female direction kind of deal. Now we talked about the earth chakras, and we also talked about when we were talking about a third eye that there is no chakra for the third eye on the planet Earth. But here there's quite a few points of the crown with her. And so one is Mount Kailash in the Himalayas, Tibet, and then Asia, Mount Cook in New Zealand. So there's quite a different little vortexes around her for her crown. So she has more crowns than we do. She's beautiful. Love her. So what we got a little information before we go in depth with everybody about talking this stuff. And so psychological imbalances, what would they be like? We are practitioners, we're working with people, and we're trying to learn what we're doing, why they're on the table. And so psychological imbalances is like the nervous system, so like different things in the nervous system could be MS, right? It could be different other diagnosed things, and also psychological imbalances on the psychiatric area. Cognitive issues, learning disabilities, sleep disorders, mental illness, personality disorders, skeletal issues, epilepsy, MS, stroke, extreme exhaustion. When you're extremely exhausted, guys, I know my crown is not working real well. And I got to go to sleep. I gotta relax. And sometimes my head's still going and it's not relaxing and it's just doing its thing. A coma, cancer, Alzheimer's, vision issues, autoimmune disorders, life-threatening diseases, because it's hitting you with that connection, right? The illness and tragedy, a lot of tragedy. We'll give it like a little, so that's psychological because we are hitting this area, right? So now if it's overactive, say, well, I don't know what mine's doing. Some of the characteristics, not all of them, are it's never enough. You always have to have more. Nothing is stopping you. You just keep going. You know what I mean? It's just you pushing and pushing and pushing. Disconnect from earthly matters, like you're addicted to spirituality. Mm-hmm. We all get that. I got it. and now I'm going back into the earth studies. Animal Reiki is really helping me with that one, and it's learning the earth. And I see a lot of practitioners, Reiki practitioners, going into earth studies, or have a companion that teaches earth studies, and they're like yin and yang kind of deal. So I see how Reiki does bring that in, and it's part of the earth too. Reiki is like, Earth agreed for Reiki to come here. It would never come here. That's my own opinion. So, so overactive, never enough, disconnect from earthly matters, delusions, and manic depression. So you go really high and you feel really low and you can't get out of it. So it's overactive. You need to calm it down, give it some Reiki, or go overthink.
Would OCD qualify on that?
I would think so, because you're just like over, like in a loop.
Because you're in a loop.
Check the door, check the door, check the door, check the door. Wash your
Yeah.
hands, wash your hands. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Good question.
That's a great question. Yeah. So it's like, and you can see why you could put yourself there, like what Karen just did. She's like, she thought about OCD, what happens, like a loop happens, and she put it in her mind, she felt it,
I've been there.
I know she's an empath. So I'm just trying to explain to everybody what Karen just did. And she just went through that and she just felt it. And she's like, yes, because my head kept on going. It wasn't here. It wasn't here. It wasn't down here. It was right up here. And that's how you could feel this out or express it or whatever, to be able to know what's going on with somebody and helping them out. All right. So, and then underactive or blocked. So underactive, a lot of people will say it's blocked because it's just so slow. You know what I mean? It's not doing what it's saying. So discontinued from your higher self, your spirit. So you don't have that connection. And we all have the connection, but it's just a little sluggish. So it needs a little oomph, a little extra stuff, a little zest in your life, a little cleansing and stuff like that. It's a lot about cleansing your area, cleans and stuff. Disconnect from the higher self of spirit, fear of accepting guidance from the divine. Like you're fearful. And that's okay. That's an honest feeling to feel fearful of that. And then is that you just need to clear it out a little bit more for yourself so you don't feel that fear. Feeling unworthy of your divine aspect. So if if secretly you feel a little unworthy, it doesn't matter, you're a big superstar, then you know that you need to spice your crown up a little bit. You need a little bit of help to get this going, to feel your worthiness, because that will only generate down through your being into the earth and deepen your roots, right? Because you're feeling strong, you're worthy, you're here and you're present. So yeah, and then your spiritual cynicism. So you just do not believe in spirituality. It doesn't mean that you're not a spiritual person ever in your life. You just need a little bit more zest into that crown to get things going, so you could get that connection. Mm-hmm. So other underactive energy is nerve problems, muscular problems, because it's all about your head and spinal cord, right up in here. Various neurological symptoms. Have a hard time letting go of material things. Yeah, I heard that. Dullness of senses and lack of purpose of socializing. Depression. Difficulty learning new skills. So all these things are just underactive. And the greatest thing is that if you feel or you're sensing that something you're connecting with here, then I got two ladies to help you out here. And they're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So Rhonda, let's get you going here.
I love crystals. That's never been a secret. And it's amazing what they can do for each chakra that we have. And with the crown chakra, there's so many options. I really love it. So you could have something like clear quartz, and what's great is it comes in such a variety. So like this is clear quartz, but so is this. And it just, and both work for the exact same thing. But you also have, to give you another example, like this is amethyst, but this is amethyst, and then you have larger pieces. And so, and then I even have like, I'll even show you like this, there's 3 different pieces, and they're all amethyst. So, but they come in a variety, but they all can help you with the exact same crown chakra. So it's really amazing. And then like, you could have like, this is clear quartz, and then you have citrine, and which is also a type of quartz, and they're both great for the crown chakra. Selenite is one of my absolutely favorite pieces, and this definitely comes in a large variety of shapes and sizes. You can get it in raw or polished. I really love it. Kathy has the most amazing piece of labradorite, and mine is got the blue-green flash on it, and hers actually has a purple flash on it, and purple is a much rarer color to have, but labradorite is one of the most beautiful rainbow colors of a crystal that you can get. It seems to be a huge favorite for a lot of people, just because it comes in such a large variety of flash on it. And then I absolutely love fluorite. And what's great about fluorite is it also comes in a large, let me try to hold that up so you can see it better. But this is a purple one that would be amazing for the crown chakra, but it does come in a large variety of colors. And charoite, I absolutely love this. It comes in it has the movement on it is different for every piece, and it has a little bit of a different color to it, and I absolutely love this. And then this is something that is newer to me. It is the lepidite, but what I love about it is I found out you can actually get it in what's called bubble lepidite, and it looks very, very unusual, or you can get it in other pieces that are just more of a raw form, but it's the same.
Wait, what is that
crystal,
called?
the lepidite. And and what's great though is that this is the same stone. It's just found in different areas in different ways. So this is what they call bubbles. So it looks like it's in the form of bubbles, and this is just a raw form of it.
It looks like a brain.
This
No,
is
the other
actually
one. That's a
Oh
dragon.
yeah,
That's a brain.
it does. It's the most unusual. And the second, she had a variety of pieces, and when I saw this particular one, I was just really drawn to it. But it's just really amazing. So the crystals can help. Oh, and this is another rare. This is a rare one. And I'll try to hold it up so you can see it better. But this is actually, it's called a lavender quartz.
Ooh.
So it's a really faint color of purple, but it's a type of quartz, but it's in lavender. So this would also be another one that would be great for the crown chakra. One thing I have fell in love with that when we started doing this is that along with the crystals and the herbs that you can use for your each particular chakra, I found out that you could actually have a different type of tea for each chakra. So I love that for the crown chakra, you actually have lavender tea. And lavender is one of my favorite things to have in a tea, or even like lavender lemonade, because of the summertime. So either lavender or lotus root. So I was fascinated to learn that. And then for the herbs, I love that you have frankincense, holy basil, or white sage. And white sage is definitely one of my absolute favorites. And frankincense, I think you put a drop on your crown chakra and it just does amazing things. And I'm sure Karen will go over that. But even herbs though, I was excited to learn that that's an herb. So for the herbs, it's frankincense, holy basil, and white sage. And then for the food, Kathy is going to put that up so we can all see it, and I'll go over that. And it's a great color. because of the purple. So you have your choice of like blackberries or blueberries, black currants, elderberry, and we all know elderberry is so healing. So it doesn't surprise me that that is one that is great for the crown chakra. Figs, purple grapes, plums, prunes, raisins. We have purple, which is just dried grapes, purple asparagus, purple cabbage, eggplant, purple carrots, a purple pepper, purple potatoes, and then the last one, which I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Oh,
How would
kohlrabi.
the-
I didn't know they had purple kohlrabi.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I was excited to learn that. But it's such a fun color to, I like to, when I eat my food, I do like a variety of colors just because it makes it interesting to eat. So I was super excited about the crown chakra. And then for the yoga poses, we have a variety. And Kathy, I'll put those up there and then I can go over that. So you have the headstand, which you can actually do against the wall to make it easier for yourself. You don't have to do a freestanding headstand. You can do it up against the wall, and it is really helpful. The tree pose is one of my favorite poses. The lotus pose, the forearm stand, which is like more of an advanced one. The rabbit pose. The last one's hilarious. It's called a corpse pose, but I think it's just, it's just the fact that I think you're just laying out and you're just spreading out, and it's just like, so it's just like spreading your energy. And the back bend, and what's nice about the back bend, it doesn't have to be really deep, but it's just like stretching out all of those chakras and getting them all that energy going. And so it's just between the combination of the crystals, the herbs, the teas, and the yoga, it's just a great way to try to help work on your crown chakra, along with what Karen's going to go over.
Yeah. Well, to make sort of a segue into that, since you brought up frankincense, and I should have brought, okay, it's the exact same oil, but Young Living puts the ones that the FDA approves for ingestion, they put them in white label bottles. So I also have frankincense in a white label bottle, but it is exactly the same oil. But you can also, since speaking of foods, doesn't taste good, I'll tell you, but you can put a drop under your tongue. It does not taste good. Whew. First time I smelled frankincense, I thought, whoo, poor baby Jesus, that smells bad. But it has sort of grown on me. So frankincense is my all-time favorite for the crown chakra, and even ingesting frankincense, which is super expensive. So probably you may not want to do that. But frankincense and sacred frankincense, I use Young Living because they own their own farms and I know what I'm getting when I order their oils, and that's really important. And I'll just say something quickly about that. The majority of the oils out there are synthetic. If it's a cheap oil, it's probably not even a real oil. It's probably synthetic, was lab created. There's not enough lavender oil, for example, to serve all of the world. So we have the regular frankincense is Boswellia carteri, which is one particular tree. You know how trees have different subspecies, and the sacred frankincense is Boswellia sacra, and this particular frankincense comes from Oman. This was in the past reserved for the royal family of Oman and Saudi Arabia, but the founder of Young Living developed a relationship, and Young Living is the only company that is allowed to distill and export the sacred frankincense, and it's my favorite. It's a little bit smoother, if you will. The reason frankincense is so great for your crown chakra is because it is high here. I am out representing the Texas girls today. I got my hair all did up. Here we go. It's really high in sesquiterpenes. And sesquiterpenes are, terpenes, like six-sided. They're chemicals, natural chemicals that help oxygenate the brain. So if you can afford it, or when I'm really trying to work on balancing and opening my chakra, I will just put frankincense right on top of my head. I did this a lot. Kathy mentioned that it's if you're having trouble with your crown chakra, you may have trouble letting go of physical things. Some of you who follow me may know that I spent 5 months this year doing the KonMari process, which means letting go of things. And I did a lot of work on my crown chakra. And it's kind of funny that since I worked on this, opening it up, letting go, trusting, Kathy talked about.
Would that be referred to as like what they refer to as shadow work? Or
It
type of
is.
shadow work?
It is a type of shadow work. It really is. You think like if you've watched Marie Kondo on Netflix, the magical art of tidying up, or read her book, you think, oh, it's a great way to declutter your house. Oh no, it's much, 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 much more than that. Yeah, because your house didn't get all cluttered up because no, it's all those fears and things you don't want to face. And so you just like shove it in a bag and put it under your bed, and then you just drag it around for years and years. So all of that has to do with being open and trusting and open to the universe. And so I did a lot of work with my crown chakra there to like open up, trust, know, listen. And I consider myself a spiritual person, but listen, now this is important. So hear me on this. When you're on this journey, you never get to a point where you're like, oh, okay, that's it. I'm enlightened. You don't. There's always more. There's always more work to do. That's what we came here to do. So the frankincense is really helpful to me on opening up. Kathy flashed. Okay, let me complete that sentence. That didn't start right, did it? Kathy put up a recipe that I like to put into a diffuser. And let me talk about why it's a good combination. So you've got 2 drops of lavender. Lavender, is very calming. Cedar wood, that's a tree with some nice deep roots. Cedar wood is very grounding. And you may be thinking, why are you putting all these grounding oils in a blend for the crown chakra? Because you don't want the top of your head to blow off, okay? You've got to be grounded. And this isn't, hear me on this. When you start doing work in these upper chakras, you can't live all up here in the upper chakras. We are earth beings, like Kathy mentioned, that a lot of times people are like coupled with someone who does a lot of earth work. But these oils are grounding. Lavender, cedarwood, frankincense, that's kind of a balancing. It's the best one. Lemon, that is a very uplifting oil. You have to be a little careful. Like I would not put like lemon, for example, on my skin or top of my head and then go out in the sun, because it is a photosensitive oil. All the citrus oils can make you sunburn if you put it on your skin, but it's very uplifting. And vetiver. Okay, people who do oils joke about vetiver. Vetiver is so thick, it takes forever to get it out of the bottle. So if you work with vetiver or myrrh, which is one of the other oils I want to talk about in a second, some oils are super thick. And that should tell you something. Frankincense, like when I put frankincense, when I let it drop out of the bottle, I don't know if you can see this, watch. It's just going to go, boop. Oops, and I dropped it on my computer. Now my computer is enlightened. Here we go. It's thin. It's nice and thin, uplifting. Myrrh, on the other hand, I don't know if I can even get the bottle open. I don't think I can. Myrrh tries to turn back into a resin. So these frankincense and myrrh come from trees that have a thick, sticky resin, and they have to be harvested really, really carefully. People have to know what they're doing. I can't even get the bottle open. I can show you some vetiver.
I love the fact that you talked about diffusing, though, because I think people forget that it's an important way to use oils, and that the smell and just the aromatherapy of it, and that it's just a great way to help with each chakra.
Because when it's diffusing in I can't get that open. When it's diffusing in the air, it's, especially if you have a nice ultrasonic diffuser, and it's important to invest in a decent one that doesn't heat the oils, because if it heats the oils, it's going to destroy the therapeutic properties of the oils. But when I'm diffusing, say that particular brand, it's a good blend. It's a good combination of uplifting oils and grounding oils, and they're in tiny little droplets in the water, in the air. And it's like a humidifier for your home, and you're breathing that in. So what happens is it goes through the olfactory bulb straight into the brain. So these oils have such a tiny molecular structure that they even cross the blood barrier in the brain. They go into your brain, and that limbic part of your brain is where you store all your emotions, all your memories, all of that stuff. Since I was talking about KonMari and, you know, decluttering, all the stuff from your life is stored up here in this part of your brain. And so those oils work, the vibrations, they vibrate also. You can measure the vibration of particular oils. Some of them vibrate higher, and when you apply them or you breathe them, it helps your vibration come up a little. So you're breathing it in. Thank you, Rhonda, for saying that. And it's literally changing your brain chemistry. So it helps. Some
Hey,
of the
Karen,
ones
I got one question because I just was enlightened about the diffuser thing. Could you tell us what kind of diffuser to use and what's the price ranges of those kind of diffusers, if you know anything like that? Because
I just ordered another one because I have one in like every room in my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Young Living has one that's like $47. It's a small one. It'll go for 4 hours. The most of the other ones I have are about 60.
Okay.
But what you're looking for is ultrasonic
Ultrasonic.
ultrasonic
Thank you.
diffuser.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, because I have gotten some from sparoom.com has some decent ones, but they break after about a year. And my Young Living diffusers, yeah, Rhonda, you have some input?
Yeah, I was just going to say doTERRA and Young Living both sell diffusers that I'm sure that is adequate and probably like a good quality. And like she said, they're anywhere between $40 to $60, but they last.
Right. I have one that plays music and changes lights and all that. And I paid an ungodly amount of money for that, which now I don't think they've gotten cheaper. But I've had that thing since 2012, so almost 10 years, and it still goes. So, but diffusing oils, that is the fastest way to shift your aura, if you will. You know, and a lot of people, I used to do like incense and scentsies and, you know, plugins and, you know, Glade plugins and stuff because you want your house to smell good. But those have toxic chemicals in them. So make that shift if you haven't made that shift, because you don't want to be breathing in things that are going to give you cancer. You want to, you know, breathe in things that are going to help you.
That's why it's important, like Karen had talked about, to educate yourself on therapeutic grade oils compared to synthetic oils.
Right. And doTERRA they also have good oils, I think. Yeah. That, you know, you can get, they know where their oils come from. That's the main thing. Yeah. Because you don't know, I don't know. And, you know, and people think like, oh, they just smell good. And sometimes, as you know, sometimes no, they don't. Anyway, so some of the, Kathy also has a graphic on some of the oils that I like to use, just the singles that are uplifting. Rhonda, I know this is one of your very favorite oils. So try this blend in the diffuser, like just 1 drop of vetiver. But for applying or diffusing, frankincense, sacred frankincense, myrrh. So frankincense is more of an uplifting if you need to like unclog. Myrrh is one to kind of, if you're like we were talking about OCD or like overthinking, or if you just kind of need to like, myrrh will help bring you down a little bit. Sandalwood is good for balancing. Jasmine is if you need to unclog it, jasmine is good for the third eye. It's also good for the crown. Lavender is one that's going to calm a little, and vetiver is going to calm. They've done studies with vetiver. By the way, if you go to pubmed.gov and just type in some of these oils and studies about them, vetiver they found is okay, this isn't compliant. It really helps with focus issues. I can say that. It helps with focus issues.
Yeah, I can't even begin to explain what it is about jasmine. It just has to be the empath in me. But I can be in the worst mood, and literally all I have to do is just smell the jasmine oil, and it instantly calms me right down.
And I'm glad you said that, because so if you look at, like, if you go and you look at this bottle of jasmine and go, whoo, it's like $70 for this tiny bottle, and you're thinking, good Lord, like, I'm not made out of money. But I don't even, like, how long do you think this is going to last if I just, oh no, I don't even have to put it under my nose. I already smell it. In fact, some people say the best way to experience an oil is to hold it at your navel and let that come up. Yeah. So because what's happening, that's the wrong finger to use. What's happening is the, you know, it's helping your brain. So all you have to do is sniff it. And yeah, it's super sweet, I'll tell you. So The best way to get
It's just so mood balancing, and I think that's what people need to understand is that certain oils, especially in jasmine, is just something really great for empaths. It's just mood stabilizing. It just balances your mood right out.
yeah. So yeah, I love jasmine. If you, for example, you don't want to buy all these expensive, oils, and not all of them are. It just depends. The price of an oil, and listen, if all of your oils cost about the same, that should be a red flag for you. Because some, like jasmine, is so expensive because you got to hand pick those little puppy flowers like before the sun gets too hot. It's labor intensive. Peppermint, I mean, that grows like a weed and it's easy to distill, and so it's easy, so it's cheap. So some of the blends I like to use that have been already put together. One is called Inspiration, and I'll diffuse it. But it has some of the more expensive. I smell that sandalwood. I knew this big nose would come in handy sometime in my life. But it has some of the more expensive oils, and depending on how they're put together, I didn't know this, but it matters which oil goes in first. And some oils, they kind of refrigerate them before they mix it. It makes a difference in the chemical makeup of the oil when they combine them. So, but Inspiration is really good if you're feeling blocked. Oh my! I put that frankincense on my crown, and it's about up here. You can't even see it. Woof. Wow. But Inspiration, if you need to sort of like open and listen, Inspiration is one of my favorite.
No, I think that's good for people to know that they can get oils that are already made for like certain things like that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to think, what did Karen say it was that? It's like Inspiration. Oh, okay, that sounds like something I need. Or how about this one? Highest Potential. Okay, yeah, I need something to kind of help open me up and help me reach my highest potential. This one is called Three Wise Men, and it has all the Bible oils in it. It has frankincense, myrrh, all of it. That's a good one. If you're having trouble, when Kathy was talking about doubt, trust in the divine, being a sort of spiritually crippled, most of the time when I'm scanning somebody before giving Reiki, and I go like, oh, it's like dong, like nothing going on there, it's not open. They're depressed, and I'll send them home with a little bit of oil, and I'll say, put a little bit of oil, or depending on who it is. And now that I'm just doing distance Reiki, I still use the oils, like on the proxy. It's bizarre, but it's energetic. So yeah, I want to write an article about that or talk with some more people about that. But this one is called Believe. And it doesn't smell good. I don't particularly like how it smells, but it works. This one, if you are like kind of all up in the spiritual realm, you feel like you're about to turn into a fairy. Yeah. Gathering. This is called Gathering, and it's more like pull it back in here when you feel like you're about to go out of your body. I don't know if you meditate a lot and you just sort of feel like it's like, no, I kind of need to I need to wash the dishes, man. I need to go walk the dog. Yeah, Gathering, that helps. And let's see, what are some of the others? Is that it?
I love that they make it easy for us.
This one I highly recommend. It's called Egyptian Gold, and I this is what I put on before we started. It has many of these oils are found in ancient scripture, and these were like frankincense, myrrh, cassia, galbanum. I mean, it has a lot of many are mentioned in the Bible, many in ancient Egyptian texts, and this Egyptian gold, they're pricey oils, so it's blended, and I can smell that cassia is in the cinnamon family, and it's really spicy. So anyway, I listed them all in that little graphic, and I like to use the oils to help balance or bring down or uplift my vibration. And then the other thing do you guys have any questions, Kathy, or is anybody asking any questions? Or Rhonda, you want to add anything else about the oils before I talk about the vibration of sound?
I'm ready for sounds.
Sound, okay. Okay.
I love sounds.
So this is it's a high, okay, this is your crown. And if you're catching this on the replay or watching this on YouTube, let's just try this, and you can mute if you want, but try to just do like she said, like a T and an E. Put your here, if you've got Reiki, just kind of activate your Reiki and just try this. Go T.
She went so high that you can't hear her.
It feels like my head's coming off. Okay.
Well, you
Okay.
went mute. You went so high in your octave.
Okay, maybe you're a man. Try this. Maybe you're a man. I'm sorry.
You're
Kathy,
such a goof.
okay.
I mean, you
let me
went,
try it in a lower
you went
octave.
mute. You went mute. I'm saying.
Oh, I went mute.
Yeah.
Oh,
You went so high, you went mute. I'm saying.
oh,
I didn't get
my
a chance.
microphone didn't pick it up. Oh, that's weird.
Good
Sorry.
job. No, that's what happens. It's such a high vibration. So try it again.
Okay, let me try it lower.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're at home, don't try this at home. No, if you're at home, try this. Just try that E sound. And this is so weird. I was a theater major and we had to take a voice and diction class. And I think it's very funny because I don't think he studied the chakras or anything like that, but we had to do, we had to go like hihima, hihima, hehema, hahama, hohoma, hohoma, and go all down. And I thought, once I started learning more of this stuff, I thought, how did he know that? He said, E is in the top of your head. He knew that somehow. And I think that it just is. So just practice that. Another thing, of course, is the AUM or OM. Try that. So just, or you could just go Om, but let it kind of reverberate in your whole head cavity. Kind of go start out like with
Almost like you're bringing it in.
Yeah, like
I feel like a lizard flapping my things.
Yeah, there you go. You're really gonna put this on YouTube. Really. And of course that M is just kind of your whole
Like
head.
it just centers you right there.
Yeah, it does.
And there is it's pretty well known. I guess we could it means behold the jewel in the lotus. But if you know any mudras or like, you know, like many times you see people sitting like this or like this. So try this, put the heels of your hands together and your pinky and your thumb, and you're making a lotus because this is like the 1,000-petaled lotus, right? So hold your hands like this and make an Om. Try that, ready? Om. Now try Om Mani, like a mani pedi, M-A-N-I. Om Mani Padme, P-A-D-M-E, Padme Hum. Here, I'll do it once, and then you guys can do it with me. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.
That's really nice.
That's
Yeah.
really nice.
And just envision as you're holding your hands here like this open lotus with the pinkies touching and the thumbs touching and the fingers, and like this is my open lotus, and just envision as you chant the Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. I feel like a sort of that Kundalini going like up, and it's like at the top of my head. So try that as a way of, and don't just envision like it opening, because I feel it. It feels like the top of my head's about to explode. But don't forget to be grounded. Don't forget to be rooted. Like the lotus flower has deep, deep roots down in the mud, you know, and it puts up that stalk and then it blooms. So as you're meditating and maybe chanting that, think of that. Think of that. We are rooted here on this earth. We are rooted in the mud, in the earth. And from that, we emerge and we blossom. So that's a good meditation to do as you chant. And the chanting with the, it's just, I don't know why people ever do drugs or drink alcohol. I mean, you don't need to. Just, you've got the vibration of your voice, and you've got the vibration of the oils and the foods and so
The crystals and
the crystals, and they love the oils and chanting too.
Mhm.
Little crystal beings. So yeah, try that. Like I said, your circle of friends will get smaller and smaller, but hey, that's what you have Reiki Studio for. Like, what do you want to do on Friday night? Ooh, let's chant. Nah, I don't think so. Yeah. So
That's awesome. That's awesome, Karen. So
yeah, sound therapy is so important. It really is.
it really is.
and I love crystal bowls and Himalayan bowls and everything, but what we forget is that we've got the best instrument on the planet. We've got our body.
Yep. And it's always with you.
It's always with you.
Always with you. You know, there's times I do therapy and I feel like I had a client the other day, and I had to do this. I had to put it into the auric field, and my snapper got louder. I was like, whoa, I've never snapped that loud before. You know what I mean? But they needed a dry vibration. And the snap was a dry vibration kind of thing. I just didn't have anything else. And I was just guided to do that. And we have sound in so many ways.
And humming is so healing. Just when you think about when mothers, have their babies, and they just instinctively,
and they're always rocking, and their emotion, and it's just so, I love hammocks.
That's why people don't even realize that when you have a wind chime outside, that it actually has a purpose.
Yes.
Besides just looking pretty and sounding nice, it actually has a purpose. And then like even if you had to go around in a room and just
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I do it often. I have wind chimes all around my house.
yes,
And it's a purpose.
it's a great way to help the energy.
It just helps the energy, and it helps, and they all have different sounds and octaves, and it's beautiful. I love it. I have a church right across the street, and they play bells at 6 o'clock and at noon, and the vibration just, and it's just relaxing. I mean, some people, are very sensitive, and they say, well, why does it bother me or frustrate me when I hear sound like that? And compared of some people enjoy it. And do you guys have anything on that one? Any suggestions?
I think when something is like that, I don't know, because I've lived around noisy neighbors. I was going to say sometimes if it's beautiful to everybody else but not you, it may be like shifting something in your field. That vibration of that sound may be shifting. You're like, oh, but
empaths can tend to be very sensitive to sounds. Like you might like the sound of a singing bowl, but it can't be, like, the louder it gets, it may be annoying instead of soothing.
Right.
Like, it's odd because music can be therapeutic, but going to a concert can be overwhelming, not only with the people, but because it's so loud. And even though you can enjoy it, but it actually can like make your body really sensitive and react. That's why you can go home and be completely exhausted. Exactly. And it's just because it was just too much.
Well, the military has weaponized sound.
Yeah.
They play loud sounds and that, like death metal and stuff to
it's knowing your boundaries. It's not that it's horrible or something. It's just that it's not just you. You have to learn your boundaries. And as we work with energy and become practitioners of ourselves, that we get a little bit more sensitive. And sometimes that bothers us. Why am I so sensitive? Well, that's okay. I remember when I was in my 20s, I did Ayurvedic, and I was pretty high roll, like I am with my spirituality, zoom right into it. And my body got so sensitive, I couldn't eat outside my house. Like, I had to bring all my food to my parents and stuff and cook it. I was in college, and I made I did it for 8 years, felt the best I did physically, but I stopped it because I was sick of being so sensitive. I couldn't go out and do anything. I had a piece of pizza, I would get sick for 2 days, It wasn't in my culture and my society. I tried to put it in there, but it wasn't working. And then now I'm trying to go back to that, and work on I got a little older and wiser, and I'm able to feel more sure of myself to get back into that sensitivity. But sometimes when we get so sensitive about stuff, we back away. We back away, and sometimes it's just a little reminder to give yourself a cup of love and say you can do this and keep on going on.
And Kathy, I'm glad you said that. That's a good way to, I just want to remind everybody, because when you get on a spiritual journey, you want to go up, you want to, and these higher chakras are important. Yes, but so is your root. So is the ground.
Yes.
It's super important.
My journey this particular year has been not because I found an aloe-based product that helps with my outside, because I have autoimmune and I have psoriasis. And so like for the first time in my life, that's being controlled. And but now I'm working on the inside. So I'm working out, which I'm not used to having a workout. So it's just really nice because there's just different ways that just stuff like that, because working out can be a way of grounding.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been following your journey. I'm so proud of you. I'm almost inspired.
I follow your journey.
But it's just, I think it can be, you're never going to be in the same place at the same time consistently. And people just need to understand that's okay.
Yeah.
Like this is just my particular journey this year. Next year, there may be something different. I may need to work on just basically grounding more, or it could be anything, but it's okay that if your journey changes and your focus has shifted, as long as you're just working on it, that's all that matters. And it's great because you have the herbs or the food or the oils or the crystals and stuff like that to help guide you through it.
Yeah. That's how we learn too. We go through it. People are like, how do you know all this stuff? I went through it.
Yeah. Well, shadow work. I know a lot of people are scared of shadow work, or even the word shadow work, but it's not a scary thing. It's a matter of like Karen said, living it and getting through it. And then the other side of it's beautiful.
And embracing it. You eventually embrace it and go, okay, so there's some darkness there. That's okay.
Yeah. There's darkness, there's light,
Yep.
It's all different.
Just like the stars. We don't get to see the stars if there wasn't for darkness. And how beautiful are the stars.
Yeah.
So you just have to look at it that way. It can be scary, but once you get to the other side, it's beautiful, and it's definitely worth it.
Definitely. Or I would not be here. I just wouldn't be in the place I am right now. All right. So thank you, Reiki Studio, for watching. And if you see our replay, we'll put that on there, and I'll put it on my YouTube. And we will see you in September. All right. So much love to you, and thank you.